Yay! Hi, friends. We're so excited for you to join us today. Can everyone hear me? And can everyone see me? You can throw your answers in the little question box there, or in the chat box, sorry. Let us know. We also have Wendy. Hi, Wendy. So Wendy's going to go through housekeeping stuff, and then we are going to get started with the goods.
Awesome. Hey, good morning, everybody. So we are Alexander's Aesthetics. Tiffany is in California from her kitchen, and I am in Colorado, the Colorado office. We want to do a couple housekeeping items before we get started, just so you know how the morning is going to kind of pan out. You should have a control panel that you can see. We want to make sure you get used to using those questions. We are going to answer some questions at the very end of the presentation. So if you guys can just go in, we'd love to see where everybody is calling in from. We are having so many people sign up for these webinars, and we just love to see the nationwide attendance from everyone. So if you get a minute, go ahead and pop that into the questions. Also, we do have a couple handouts for you. That's also in your control panel. Sometime during this webinar, you will want to download those handouts because they're only available while viewing the webinar. I think that is it. So let's see, we're getting some, let's see where people are calling in from, Tiff. We have got California, Manteca, Fresno, Los Angeles, Fremont, Colorado, Barbados. Well, that's fun. Kansas City, Dallas, Texas, Cleveland, Ohio, Philadelphia, Orange County, lots and lots of people around. So thank you, everybody. You will have access to a recording at the end of this. And with that, I am going to pass it over to Tiffany.
Okay, guys, I'm really excited about today because I couldn't sleep last night because I was so excited. And I was so excited because I have a couple of new things that I've learned about how to use all of this stuff. So we're going to make it a little bit interactive. I do have two webcams right now, and I will be switching back and forth between them. So I do apologize for the lag and me trying to figure that out, because I always like to tell you, I am an esthetician. I am not the computer savvy human, but my IT guy, thankfully I do live with that guy, so he can help me if I need. Plus I also figured out some cool things that I can draw on the screen too. So woo! I'm getting really good at this, guys. And I also got myself some new headphones, so I'm not tethered to my computer because I didn't like that very much either. So all of these new fun things. We are going to get into scrubs and enzymes. Now, this is going to move pretty fast, so I apologize for that. But what we've done here is we've made this into two parts, and we did that because there's a lot of information, right? And this normally is a class that is like a 4 to 6 hour class that we tend to teach. But I wanted to condense that down. We did make it two parts. So today we're going over the scrubs and enzymes. Thursday, when you join us again, Thursday morning, we're going to do chemical peels. And with that, we're going to go into mixology, how to blend, how to add, when to boost, when to not. Now, I really do want you to focus on today, though, because I am very much this way as well. I am a working esthetician, if you don't already know that. So these ideas are also great for my own self when I get back into my office. I do want you to concentrate on what I'm telling you today, because once we get out of this, once we get to go back to work and we get to touch our clients again, their skin is going to be different. It's going to be different than what you've worked on previous, because they may, if they've run out of product at home, hopefully you guys are shipping to your clients or dropping off, or they're picking up, however that is working. Hopefully we are still getting them with their home care, but they're going to be behind on the actual treatments. And stress is going to have played a very large factor, obviously being indoors as much as we have to be. All of those things are going to be a little bit different. So your first facial back in, I want you to not try to think about how am I going to peel this person's face off, which is so fun and we enjoy doing that. But we want to get to the basics, right? I also want to thank Maggie for joining us today. Maggie is one of our Alexander's family members. She is phenomenal in the office. She unfortunately can't go into the office right now, so I do miss her and her face. So I am glad that you are here, and I miss you. Okay, now moving on to the good stuff, guys, if I can figure this out. Okay, first I want to go through skin type versus skin conditions, because I do think we tend to slightly confuse the two. Skin type, it is what it is, right? Sorry guys, I'm hot. Let's open a window. I get a little claustrophobic in my great little kitchen that is now my office. So we do, I feel like, get not confused. I'm going to take that back. I think we kind of blend the two. So skin type is what you have, right? Skin type is the skin that you have, you were born with. That's what it is, right? You're either dry, dehydrated, oily, all of those things, right? Skin conditions are the things that you're probably going to see different skin conditions from your clients when we get back. Okay, so skin condition: acne, rosacea, cuprous, hyperpigmentation, hypopigmentation, milia. Now, milia and dehydration, those two, to me, they go hand in hand, because milia is more of a condition. Most people think it's acne. It is not, right? What we know about milia is that it's based on the fact that our skin is really dehydrated, and our dead skin cells will crystallize under the skin, and they make those irritating little white dots that you can't get out unless you actually open the skin up. But it's based on dehydration. So if you guys can get your clients to use more hyaluronic acid, that's going to help with those. So milia, dehydration. If you see dehydration, a lot of times you'll see milia as well. Aging is a sad condition that we all are going to face at some point. Hopefully we age gracefully. That's what I like to say. And then I did put sensitive on the skin condition side also. I do have it as a skin type. A lot of clients will come in and they'll say, I have a really sensitive skin. Everything makes me break out. And I'm like, does it though? A lot of people create their own sensitivities, right? All of those people that use bar soap on their face, things like that. Or they're just using the wrong product, which we see a ton, right? That can create sensitivities on the skin. If they're stripping the skin, the over peelers, the over exfoliators, when you're stripping your skin, it'll create some type of sensitivity. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are a sensitive skin. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, guys, don't forget to throw your questions in that question box. Wendy's going to field them to me at the very end, so we will get through them. I don't like to answer questions. I get very sidetracked and super ADD right now because there's too many things to think about. So I like to answer all of the questions at the very end, so bear with me. But when you have a question, throw it in the question box so you don't forget it either. So skin type. Skin type is what you have. That is the skin that you come in with. Dry skin, normal skin, combination, oily, and sensitive to me is also on that side, because you do and you will have clients that will end up with sensitive skin. Now, they can kind of become a sensitive skin type based on what's going on, right? If they're all of a sudden having to take medication, if they have a medical challenge that they're facing, that will create all of a sudden their skin type to change into that sensitive area, okay? Okay, common exfoliants. Now, let's see if I can figure this out, my friends. Common exfoliants. This is, again, this is a basic, quick kind of run through. Enzymes, what we are going to cover today. Enzymes, what do? They digest the dead skin cells, right? So we're working on the surface of the skin. We're taking off all of that just surface dead skin that can be chewed. We've all heard the Pac-Man analogy that it chews away that dead skin, right? That's what enzymes do. Mechanical exfoliation is your manual exfoliation. So manual exfoliation is your microdermabrasions. If you have a dermophile, if you know what that is, scrubs, that's mechanical, right? That is you physically manipulating on the skin. Okay, that's again, surface. Now, glycolic. We live glycolic, right? Let me find my mouse here, guys. So we love glycolic. What does glycolic actually do? This is, I think, where we kind of get a little bit confused. And to be honest with you, I would always get a little overwhelmed trying to really figure out how to put all of these together. Now, glycolic dissolves the desmosomes between the skin cells, right? So here is your pore, okay? It's gonna help open those impactions. So we have all of this dead skin here, right? And that's all connected, right? It's all bonded together. So what glycolic is gonna do, it's gonna get in between, I know my drawing's not so good, I'm trying though, guys. It's gonna get in between those dead skin cells, it's gonna break that up, okay? That's what glycolic is gonna do. So it is an exfoliant because it is going to help resurface, but its main goal is to get in between and eat away the impactions, and it's gonna help clear up the bond that's holding the dead skin together, okay? Now, retinols. Let me clear out my pretty drawing there. Retinols. I do feel we get a little confused on our vitamin A's, which again is super normal because there are a lot of different vitamin A's in the world, right? Now, vitamin A. Vitamin A, retinol, sorry, is a vitamin A derivative. So when retinol is applied, it's going to help normalize desquamation of the follicle lining. What does that mean? That means, if I can find my pointer again, guys. Oh, there it is. Wait, where'd it go? Uh-oh. Screen is frozen. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I lost my pointer, so now I can't see what I'm trying to draw. So let's imagine a follicle lining. It's going to clean out the inner portion of that follicle, right? So that would have been pretty drawing that I can't seem to figure out now. So it's going to help normalize that, right? So now let's think about, you put glycolic and a retinol together. The glycolic is going to help break the bonds up. The retinol is actually going to get into there we go. It's going to get into the follicle, okay? Let me try this again. How about that, guy? Nope, okay. Salicylic is a drying exfoliant. We tend to use salicylic. You see it most often for acne. Now, it's a drying exfoliant. What does that mean? It is a beta hydroxy, right? So beta hydroxy is an oil base. So salicylic is an oil, oil is an oil base, oil cuts oil. So if there is no oil, it is going to dry the skin out, but it's also antibacterial. So this is why we use it for acne. So I personally, when I have little breakouts every month, because those are fun, right? I spot treat with my salicylic because I am a dry, dehydrated skin. So if we did salicylic everywhere, it would just suck the life out of my face, and that wouldn't look very nice, right? Salicylic we want to use on those oily, even if they don't have acne. If they are a very oily person, we can help cut and minimize some of that oil down, okay? Now, one of my favorites is, oh, I got really excited, lactic. I love lactic. I love it so much. Why do I love it? Well, again, being dry, dehydrated myself, lactic is a hydrating peel, okay? It's a milk derivative, right? So Cleopatra took her milk baths and her skin was beautiful and soft and amazing. That's why, it's because it's a hydrating exfoliant. It's going to draw moisture from the dermis onto the surface of the skin, okay? So the lactic is a great, if someone wants a chemical peel to start and you are comfortable doing that, I don't suggest ever doing it on your first run, which I'm sure we all know, but I'd like to share. Lactic is a nice way to go because it's not going to be super aggressive, and it's going to really just help to draw moisture into the skin. It's going to help plump the skin. It's going to brighten it, and it's going to give it a nice light exfoliant. okay? TCA. Now, when I talk about TCA right now, this particular TCA is trichloritic acid, okay? So it normally helps shed the skin. So these are your Jesners, things like that. When I talk about it on Thursday, the one that I will only be referring to is the Skin Script version, because that is the line that we carry. It's also the TCA that I love. This is the time for you guys at home to practice and try some of these things that you're thinking of, that you want to maybe do a little peel series on yourself. I myself have been doing the TCA. So next week you'll probably see extra little sheddings off, but I'm trying a different way to do it so that I don't necessarily shed a ton. So again, this is the time to practice. But TCA is for pigmentation. It's going to help exfoliate the skin. It's going to help with that hyperpigmentation to help relax those melanocytes. Okay. Now, the lines that we are going to cover today are the lines that we carry. Hail and Hush. This is the Hail and Hush. We have Ciabattana and Skin Script as well. So these are the enzymes and the scrubs that I'm going to be talking about today. Okay. The Hail and Hush Incredible Enzyme. We love this enzyme. We love it because it is a gentle exfoliant. This is made for that hypersensitive client. This is made for the client that you walk in that you're not sure what's going on. You've never seen them before. They say they have sensitive skin. They look probably like they've overdone everything. The Incredible Enzymes is a great way to go. It has the papaya in there, the pineapple. So those are our enzymes. That blend is going to help gently digest the dead skin cells. We have a lot of also anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial ingredients in this enzyme, which is so great for those, again, those hypersensitive clients, the ones that are red, the ones that kind of are always flushed, and or they tend to react to a lot of other really active ingredients. So we do have other things. Fig, that is going to help break down the bonds of dead skin, kind of like a glycolic does, right? But it's not an acid. This is the gentle, nice way to do that. So again, we're still going to get a nice exfoliation. We're going to smooth the skin out, but we're not creating any inflammation. We're not overdoing it. Okay, so again, we've got anti-inflammatory ingredients, antioxidant ingredients in there. We also have that great daisy that's going to help lighten up the skin, right? That's what most people want. They want to look brighter. They want to look healthier. This is going to help with that as well. There's also the hibiscus in here. I only highlighted a couple of the ingredients. The ingredient deck is amazing. And if you'd like to see the whole thing, we have it for you, or you can visit Hail and Hush as well. Chris is the most amazing person when it comes to ingredients. So she is definitely the one to ask. The hibiscus will mimic the alpha hydroxy, so it softens keratin and it acts as an astringent as well. But it's also going to help improve moisture, which again, that's kind of a big challenge for everyone, right? Making sure that the skin is nice and hydrated. Okay, so this is a little bit goes a long way on this one too. The Ginkgo Gommage is Ciabattana. Ciabattana is, if you're not familiar with Ciabattana, by the way, that is made out in San Diego. Hail and Hush is actually also from Arizona, which we love. The Ginkgo Gommage, this again, this is one of those, I have no idea what's going on with my client's skin right now. This is a new client. They're using a hodgepodge of nonsense on their skin. The Ginkgo Gommage is a nice way to go because they're still going to get some exfoliation. The lemon verbena extract, that is going to help soften, right? It helps to create that, they call it a natural peel. So we're exfoliating, right? Ginkgo, I love Ginkgo. It's going to help soften the skin, the algae, the seaweed extract, the avocado oil. That's going to help hydrate the skin. So it is a gommage. So if we're not familiar with gommages, when you put that on, it looks kind of like a mask. And then when it dries, you physically and manually you scrub it off. Now you don't necessarily have to do that if you don't want to. I personally don't like doing it that way. It's too messy and I hate cleaning that up, to be honest. So when I do use this one, I actually just scrub over top of it to get that gommage effect, or I just use a rougher 4x4 or cotton, something like that, and I scrub it off that way. That way, again, you're getting a nice exfoliant, but we're not over exfoliating the skin. Now another CA Botana, the bamboo cream peel. This is also a great retail item. So if you are trying to find, I know we want to put at-home kits together for our clients, which is amazing, and you should. You want to stick with what the actual retail normally is for your clients. You don't want to be packaging up these enzymes and handing them out to your clients. They don't know what to do with them. Plus two, if they feel like they can do it at home, they're always going to ask you for it. So the bamboo cream peel is a great exfoliant. It does come in a pro size and a retail size. So this one is that manual exfoliation, right? This is a scrub. It has jojoba bamboo. It has that sweet almond oil, so we're going to soften the skin. The bitter almond oil and the mint, which is great. That's going to help relax and increase circulation. I personally love to create circulation. I love to light my clients up. When it comes to that, I want blood flow. Blood flow is going to help remove toxins out of the skin. That's what we need to do, right? Lemongrass is one of my favorite ingredients as well. It's one of the scents actually that I love. Antimicrobial, antioxidant, antiseptic. So this is, you can put it on a lot of times, so you can have your clients use it as a mask at home if they'd like. Put it on, let it sit for a minute, and then do a manual exfoliation with it after a minute or two. It's not really going to do an extra like peel necessarily, but it makes them feel like they're getting a little more exfoliation. But the bamboo cream peel is a great way to start out. Now, this is a pro product, the Papaya Enzyme. This is also, again, CA Botana. So we do have both of those enzymes in there, the bromelain, the bromelain and the papain. Okay, so this is a powder. It is that regular powder that you have to mix with water, or the next slide I will show you how to boost that. You're going to mix this up. You're going to put it on the skin. It is going to need steam. Otherwise, it's just going to make that kind of paste that never comes off of the face. But again, this is a really nice, just adding water to this one, really nice, gentle exfoliant. You're going to get a nice smooth skin. You're going to be able to do your extractions and all of that with it. But again, that's just adding water to it. So this one we can play around a little. We can add the papaya controlling lotion to it as well. The papaya controlling lotion will actually help also activate the enzyme, and it will make it a little bit stronger because this does also have the papaya, pineapple. It does have pineapple. I was trying to say pineapple and aloe together. Hello. Pineapple and aloe. So we're getting that extra boosted exfoliation, but the aloe is going to be that nice anti-inflammatory as well. Because we still want to make sure that even if we're punching the skin a little bit harder with the exfoliant, that we are including that extra anti-inflammatory and calming factor within it as well. This particular, the controlling lotion, you can also use as a gentle toner. I say that loosely. You can apply it before your enzyme. So let's say you don't want to mix it in with your papaya actual enzyme powder. You want to mix that with water. You can clean the skin off with the controlling lotion and then add the enzyme on top. I know so many things, guys, so many things. Okay, pumpkin enzyme. We love this pumpkin enzyme because it smells delightful, which everyone loves. But I do like this one because it can be a dual purpose. So if you like to do pumpkin, but some of the other pumpkins are a little bit too strong as far as exfoliation goes, this is a nice kind of level playing field. So you can use it as the exfoliant if you want, or you can use it as both. I've done this. I've used it as my exfoliant, and then I've used it again as my ending mask. So I help with the dead skin in the beginning and get my extractions, brighten up the skin, do my other, extractions, serums, whatever else I do. And then I can use it again as the ending mask to really kind of boost up what that level of exfoliation is without over exfoliating the skin. This one also, I do love this one as, and let's be clear, it kind of just like pumpkin as hand treatments. If you can do hand treatments, this is a great one to put on the back of the hands, excuse me, to help exfoliate the hands, brighten those up as well. Because so many people also want their hands to not be aging too, right? We all should be doing that, just that. So the pumpkin is great. This is a gel base. So easy to go on. You don't need a ton of it either. Okay, moving into Skin Script. Now, the Skin Script enzymes, you're going to see me share the pH of them. And I do that because a lot of these also have chemical peels added into it. The pH for these are going to be important. Well, across the board, pH is going to be important. But I'm sharing it with these again because there are actual a lot of chemical peels within these, and that is going to change kind of how your thought process should be, right? So the Passionfruit enzyme, I do love. I mean, let's be honest, I say that about all of them because I do. So the Passionfruit is great. This one is, who's it for? For aging, normal skin, anyone that needs firming. I like it. I use it because my extra little neck pieces here, I like to tighten those up, right? So this also creates dermal warmth. It creates that flushing in the skin. I love to flush. And the reason why I love to flush is because that really helps to remove those toxins, right? That's going to help brighten the skin up. So this is a passion fruit base. So the passion fruit is the enzyme. It's going to be calming. Again, we're exfoliating. There's also antioxidant properties in there. This has that special collagen peptide. It is 22% of this formula, okay? This is what increases the firmness by creating that dermal warmth. It's getting into the dermis, it's creating that warmth. It's going to help stimulate the collagen and all of that goodness in a healthy manner that we need. It's going to create, again, your client's skin is going to turn red. It's going to turn a beautiful, like, fire engine red. Do not panic. Don't panic. This is one that you should be trying on yourself while you're at home so you kind of get used to it. It is a beautiful red. Now, there are ways to help reduce that a little bit, but your clients might stay red for a couple of days, depending. I kind of like to shame my clients a little bit because if they're full of toxins, I like to say they're going to stay red longer because they, were on vacation, they ate a whole bunch of garbage, they drank too much, all of those great things that you should do on vacation, and you come back and you look a little worn. This is going to probably last a little bit longer as far as that redness goes. Now, when I say red, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be fire engine red for all of those days. They're going to be nice and pink. Okay, it's going to subside. Some people, they are red during the treatment and then it goes away. Some, again, will stay red for a little bit longer. Now, it does have rapeseed oil in there. I did not spell that wrong, which normally I do spell everything wrong, but that is correct. It is rapeseed oil, which is actually really softening to the skin, okay? So again, I'm highlighting just a couple of the ingredients on here, okay? So the retinol scrub. So what I've done, we're gonna switch cameras so you're not gonna stare at my mug anymore for a quick second here. Let's see how this goes, guys. Now, I ran into my office and I grabbed what I had in my room so that I could try to show you what some of these things were. Now, I unfortunately was out of stuff right before we went into that lockdown, so I did not read up. This is the retinol scrub. Okay, so this is the professional size. So it comes in a nice little pump. It also, retail wise, it does come in a nice little pump as well. So you can see here, I'm going to use it on my hands so my hands look nice. So you can layer this as a mask, okay? All over. I get really excited with product, guys. Now, it does have jojoba beads in here, so there is that mechanical exfoliation as well with it, right? So you can take it and actually scrub and manipulate it on the skin, or again, you can just leave it the way that it is here. right? Or leave it and then scrub if you want. You can also layer your enzymes on top of it, but this is what it looks like. Okay, so that is your retinol scrub. Now, I was not forward thinking when I did that. I need to wipe my hand off. It also has kojic, right? So this particular product is going to help lighten the skin. It's going to help soften the skin. It's going to help smooth the skin. It's going to do all of those things. Again, this is also a retail item. So this is a great one that you can make your at-home kits for your clients and retail this to them as a mask and scrub. So again, it also has that retinol. So it's going to help resurface. It's going to help smooth. It's going to help stimulate collagen. It also has malic, which I love me some malic. And malic is going to help also with that exfoliation and brightening of the skin. Okay. I'm trying to create a fun little thing for you guys to look at. We'll see how this goes, guys. Bear with me. Okay. All right. Moving on. The raspberry scrub. We love the raspberry scrub. Oh. My makeshift SMAs, guys. Doing the best there. Okay. Raspberry scrub. I unfortunately do not have this one in my repertoire right at the moment. The raspberry scrub, this one is great for your sensitive clients. Okay, this is actually made for the beautiful pregnant women of the world. The ones that, if you don't want to use retinol, or again, sensitive skin, if you don't want to use a retinol scrub, right? This one is a beautiful gel base. It has raspberry, again, antioxidant. It's going to help soothe inflammation. It does, again, have that manual exfoliation, so it does have that scrubby feel. Sorry, guys, I still need coffee to make this work. And it does have some bamboo stem extract, so that's also going to help soothe, and it's a mild exfoliant. So this is really going to help with just that surface, that dead skin that is sitting there. If, let's say, you do a chemical peel and they have some of that little just micro peeling, that probably, again, next week, I'm starting to peel this morning. My husband's like, you have something on your face. I'm like, yep, dead skin, buddy, coming off. But you can, in a week or two, use something like the raspberry scrub. That's going to help smooth things out. That's going to help a lot with that. Again, it also smells pretty amazing. It is also great, just side note, for the body. I like to use it on the body too. Okay, raspberry peach. I don't have the raspberry peach, so sorry, but guys, raspberry peach, it does have a 2.05 pH. Okay. The raspberry peach, this one also is so great. You can hear me say this a couple more times. Sensitive skin. Okay. Yeah. It is a great enzyme if the barrier function of the skin has been compromised. So if you have a client who's over exfoliating, if you have a client who's just not using the right product, this is really great for that because it's very rich in antioxidants. Excuse me. It helps soothe the skin. It helps reduce inflammation. Frog in my throat. It's peach, which is softening. It smells delightful. So also your clients love that. There's a little bit of pumpkin in there. A little bit of pumpkin, 3%, right? It's going to help stimulate the cell turnover, but it's not aggressive. So this is not going to be a peel. This is not going to be it's not a very aggressive exfoliant, which is the point, right? This is going to help repair that barrier function. It's going to help soothe, antioxidant, anti-inflammatories, all of those. It's great for sensitive and rosacea. It's also really good for those clients who love their really aggressive vitamin A. This is really good for that as well, because the vitamin A, the over vitamin A user, the skin can be really compromised. Okay. Sorry guys, we have a quick side note. Okay. So That's your beautiful raspberry peach. Okay, did we want to answer some questions, Wendy, or do we want to?
Let's wait till the end. We'll wait till the end. We just may go over the hour is what I was thinking.
Okay. All right, guys, so bear with me. Again, it's why I'm trying to get through this. Yeah, because I want to make sure that we answer your questions. And granted, I have all day, so I would love to talk to all of you all day. I'm fine with that. But for those of you who have to do your homeschooling with your beautiful children, I do know that you guys have other things to do as well. So we do want to be very cognizant of that. If you have to bail out, though, everyone just remember this is being recorded, so you can jump back in at any time, listen to it 1,000 other times if you need to, okay? Okay, coconut papaya. Love this one. Like I've said about them all, right? That's not helpful to you, I know. Now, I do have this one. This was one of the ones that I was starting to slowly, I haven't completely run out, thankfully, and I will actually just be using at home on my own. So there's your retinol scrub. You like that? Made my little pile there. The coconut enzyme, I really wish, guys, this was a scratch and sniff situation so that you could actually like smell what I was doing here, because this smells amazing. So the reason why I love this, let me tell you. One, because again, a little bit goes a really, really long way. So a light layer, this one I'm gonna leave on because I like it so much and I want my hands to look not aged. So the coconut, see, it's nice and translucent. You don't need a ton. I got really excited. That was a little too much for my actual hand. You don't need a ton. This smells phenomenal. You can add it in with the retinol scrub there. If you wanted to, again, we can layer, but the coconut is a great option for the sensitive skins. Now, when I say that, guys, what also can happen with your coconut is it can create a little bit of warmth in the skin too, right? So it's not the dermal warmth, right? We're not talking about that collagen peptide. We're talking about just kind of the coconut and the stimulation of that itself. I love coconut, small molecule, absorbs in the skin, really hydrating. This also has a little bit of witch hazel, which is going to help improve skin tone, circulation. It's going to calm those extended capillaries, right? And you'll find a lot of people now, it is allergy season as well. I know that we have another sickness going on, but allergies are a big thing right now. You end up with all of those extended capillaries around the nose area from having to blow your poor nose all day long, right? This is going to help with that. The witch hazel helps with that. The papaya is an exfoliating agent in there. There's yogurt extract, so moisture soothe. It's going to help stimulate cell regeneration. And there's chamomile, right? We love chamomile. It's going to enrich dry, sensitive skin. It's an anti-inflammatory. This is great for the sensitive, dry, aging, dehydrated clients. If you have a client, and I've done this in classes before, so I apologize because if you've ever been in my class or seen me teach, I will call you out on all of the things. If you are a dry, dehydrated, I did have a student one day, she was dry, dehydrated. I was like, let's put the coconut on you, because what's going to happen is you are going to turn bright red, guaranteed, because you're so dehydrated. She was one that was actually using bar soap still. It hurt my soul a little bit, but you know, it was a teaching moment, so we took it. The coconut enzyme really softened, and you could tell immediately a lot of that crepey look went away. It really just helped to moisturize the skin. So again, she got really nice and bright red, but that subsided pretty fast, but her skin was so soft and bright afterwards that she was pretty happy with that, right? So the coconut is good for that. Again, keep in mind, if your client's more on the dehydrated side, they're going to turn a little red, okay? The lemon zest, also one that I don't have on hand right now. If you have questions about what some of these look like, Wendy is at the office in Colorado, so she can, with what we have open there, she can also help show you these things after. Lemon zest, this is a pH of 2. okay? 2.1, low pH, right? There's a lot of different acids in here. We love it. The lemon is a natural enzyme, right? You're gonna have your clients that are like, I rubbed the lemon on my face because I wanted lots of pigment. And you're like, oh, please don't do that because that's not the correct pH. And you're gonna burn your face off. This lemon is great, pH balanced, all of those good things for it. Now, it also has a whole bunch of skin lighteners in here, right? There's alpha-arbutin, there's lactic, which we know I love, glycolic, kojic, there's some vitamin C. This is really going to punch the skin with that brightening effect. So great for the clients who are pigmentation is their biggest challenge. The lemon zest is the one that you want to reach for. The shelf life on this is short. It is 3 months. Now, that being said, throw it in the freezer. It will last a little longer. Lisa, I know, who is the owner creator of SkinScript, she just throws the whole container in her freezer. Dave, I want to say her head educator, who we love also, I want to say he does that. Some people, some people put it in individual containers, freeze it that way, however you want. But you can extend that life, that shelf life of it if you just throw it in the freezer, if you have one available. Now, that pH is important, right? Because we've got all these other acids in here. We need to make sure that we realize that pH is low. So it is going to be on that acidic side. So you want to, when we get into that peel version on Thursday, we want to think about what we're doing to our clients, what they've already reacted to, all of that. We want to build them up into bumping up the lemon if we wanted to with other acids. But again, it's going to be softening. It's going to brighten the skin. That vitamin C in there is pretty amazing. Love the lemon zest. Okay, a little bit of that also, by the way, goes a long way, which I personally love. Okay, so the cherry I do have. The cherry is also a little more of that great gel. So I will switch cameras again. Now, the cherry I love, I mean, we all know that I love them, so I could probably stop saying that. There's lactic is the first acid in there. I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. So I got to split screens here. Okay, here we go. So here is the cherry. Again, scratch and sniff, guys. It smells so delightful. So again, it doesn't need to be extra thick necessarily. It's still going to be a little on that translucent side going on the skin. It has lactic, it has malic, or sorry, it has mandelic. I got really excited. There's your cherry. Arbutin and kojic, right? So what are the differences, you ask about the difference between this and the lemon? Well, the lemon has a few other ingredients in there, right? So the lemon is going to have a little bit with the alpha-arbutin, it's 8% alpha-arbutin, right? Where the cherry is 1%, the kojic is 1%, not 2%, and the lactic is 5%, right? Not 6% in the lemon. So there's a variation of those acid percentages. If I can find my words, guys. That would be the difference. The cherry's going to last you a good amount of time, so we don't have to worry too much about shelf life necessarily with this. Also, let's look at the pH. The pH of it is higher, right? The lemon is 2. The cherry is that 3, a little bit above 3. So we also want to keep that in mind, right? So this is for the client who wants some brightening. They need some hydration. It's good for the normal combination skins. Love the cherry. Okay, pomegranate. We did the pomegranate too, guys. So I also have the pomegranate. Let me get that one organized. So the pomegranate is the base. This is, right, pomegranate is a great antioxidant, right? Beautiful. What's the pH? pH is 2.6, guys, 2.6. So with that, that's going to be a little bit on that lower side of the pH there, right? So going to be a little bit stronger. Your clients are going to feel this one. Why do we think I love this one? I'm going to give you one guess. Right, the lactic, guys, lactic. There's 11% lactic in here. So it is so great for that dehydrated skin that is full of closed comedones, blackheads, all of those things. I'm trying to multitask, and we all know I'm not that good at it. So although this is a little more, it's not as gel-ish, right? It doesn't have any fruit extracts or anything in there. It's not a chunky one. I'm starting to feel it because I've already had a couple of other enzymes on here. So I can feel this great. And spread it around, make sure I'm exfoliating my hand evenly here. So here is your pomegranate, right? Again, that 11% lactic, it's going to be so great and hydrating to the skin. Your client is going to feel this. There's also the alpha-arbutin, and there is 2% salicylic. Now, why is that important? Well, I'll tell you. So who is it for? It's for the oily acneic skin that's dehydrated. Because what have we talked about? We talked very shortly, but we did talk about the fact that we use salicylic, right, a lot of the time for our acne clients. Well, if they're extremely dehydrated, salicylic isn't necessarily the best option, right? Because we don't want to dry the skin out. The skin's already dry. If you put salicylic on me, again, we're going to suck the life out of my face. So we don't want to do that. This little bit of salicylic, though, is going to help kill bacteria that's there, right? So we do love that. It's going to help kill bacteria. It's going to help exfoliate the skin, and if there is any oil, it will reduce that as well. The pomegranate is really great for those really dehydrated, again, very clogged blackheads, all those great things. So that's what we want to use that on. Now, here is the pumpkin. I don't have this pumpkin at home either. This pumpkin orange, this is going to be different. If you want to know the difference between the C.A. Batana and this one, this is going to be that stronger version. It is a 15% pumpkin. Now, you can do some harm if you're not paying attention to your client. Just saying, okay? There's 15% pumpkin in this. It has a 2.52 pH. That is important. Why is that important, guys? It's important because we know that it's more acidic, even though it's only a 15%. I have a horror story that I can tell you about with someone who was not paying attention to their client, what they were doing after, all of those things. So let's make sure we're doing the consultations and all of that. This is a beautiful treatment. Just make sure that you are paying attention to who you are putting it on. Pumpkin. It's going to exfoliate. It's going to brighten. It's full of antioxidants. Look at that. There's 11% lactic in it. Why do you think I love it? Sugarcane, source of glycolic, right? It's going to help remove dead skin. This is the strongest exfoliant, by the way, that SkinScript has to offer. So I want you to also keep that in mind. This is great for that resilient skin. The clients that have that thicker dermis that you're really having a hard time breaking through, when we start playing around with this one, you're going to find that it really softens the skin. Again, you probably get your clients to flake, some of them to flake with this, not some of my tougher clients, not always. I would flake with it. Anyone who comes in for their regular services, they would. This also, again, is a very great hand treatment. I'm trying to remember what I'm doing here, guys. Okay, the blueberry enzyme. So I do have this one. I do love this one too. I'm going to keep talking, but I'm going to have to grab a different, I need to wipe my hand off again. So let's switch cameras here, guys. The blueberry, this is so full of antioxidants. It is amazing, right? So blueberry, antioxidants. It's going to help prevent skin damage. It's going to help brighten the skin. The blueberry is super full of blueberries themselves, right? Super full of antioxidants. There is 1% glycolic, 1% salicylic. Okay, again, why is that important? Because that is going to help reduce your, there we go. The glycolic is going to help exfoliate the skin. That is going to help break down all of that dead skin. Salicylic, so this one has little, they're not little seeds, but since blueberries are kind of in that form, this is what the blueberry looks like on the skin. So you don't need a ton. And to be honest with you, this amount, I'm hoping you can see what I'm showing you. Not really. So, I mean, you can see how fairly empty this is. I can still get a whole bunch of really great treatments out of this. So it does last you a good amount of time, which to be honest with you is important to me as a business owner. But again, that glycolic and that blend of glycolic and salicylic, it's a nice low blend, right? There's 1% of each of those. The witch hazel is going to help improve that skin tone, and it's going to help with that circulation. Your clients are going to feel this one. I think it feels amazing. Your clients want blueberry, right? There you go. Your clients want to feel that tingle. Some of them love that, some of them don't. They want to feel the tingle. The blueberry is a nice way to go. This is a rich, brightening, again, the clients that look sallow, that haven't done much, especially again after this little stint that we all have at home for a little more time than anyone wanted. The blueberry is going to be a nice antioxidant way to go. It's going to help really brighten up their skin. Look how cute that is. What did you learn? What did you learn? Good question, guys, right? Okay, we have, oh, got really excited. So Wendy's going to pop back on here and we are going to answer your questions.
All right, everybody. All right, couple questions just to keep our brains active. You can go ahead and, I think you can click on your screen or click in the control panel. But here is one question for you. The following are considered skin conditions, and there's more than one answer. Go ahead and click in. We'll give you a few seconds to answer. All right. So we have skin conditions. The top three that we have, which are correct, is acne, aging, and rosacea. Tiff, do you want to talk about that at all, or just go to the next?
No, you guys got those skin conditions. Yeah, I mean, you guys got that right. So
yeah,
I'm glad that you understood everything that I said. I felt like I talked really fast there.
That was good. All right, one more, or actually two more. Enzymes will assist the skin by, go ahead and just pick one. Hey, look at that. We have got, oh, hang on, it's changing. All right, we have 82% at digesting dead skin cells. That's what enzymes will do for your client's skin. Good job. Oh, go ahead, Tiff, sorry.
I was gonna say the dissolving the desmosomes, remember that's glycolic. Glycolic is what actually breaks down what's in between the cells.
Okay, one more. pH numbers are important because it shows which of the following. All right, good job. We have, well, it's changing a lot, but about 90% are saying correct answer, which is how acidic the product is.
Yep. Good job, guys.
Yeah, great job. Okie dokie. That's it, Tiff. That's all the questions for
Polls
today.
are closed. All right, my friends. So let's answer your questions.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it. Now, FYI to everyone, if I can't answer your question, I'm super good at telling you that I can't answer your question. And I like to hit up our manufacturers and get their answers. So if we have questions that I can't answer, a lot of these answers, FYI, are also going to be based on just what I think and how I have used the product. So just keep that in mind. Okay, go.
Okay, great. All right. Can skin conditions be genetic?
Yes.
Oops,
Yeah.
Okay. Answer is yes. All right, here's a question from Bridget. I am new to Hale and Hush. What are your thoughts on the Bedazzle exfoliant?
So the Bedazzle, I tend to, I actually like that one. I keep it in my own shower. It's not a very strong exfoliant. So I don't put it in as an exfoliant for the most part. So if we go back to the pumpkin enzyme by C. Botana, it's slightly along that line. So you can use it as the exfoliant, but there's not a ton of mandelic in there that is going to over exfoliate the skin. So it is going to help brighten. So I do like that, but that is not one you're going to use on your sensitive clients. That's one that you're going to use as a great ending mask. I mean, they may not agree with me, but I would use it if we're doing a brightening facial. Let's say you did the lemon zest, you could do the lemon zest, do whatever in betweenies that you do, and then the Bedazzle at the end is a great kind of way to end that. It's going to brighten the skin. It's going to hydrate, soothe, and calm too, because everything about Hale and Hush is about anti-inflammatories. So if you're not sure, the Bedazzle is a great way to end a service.
Okay, awesome. Do you use the Hale and Hush Incredible Enzyme or Bedazzle before a facial massage and extractions? Also from Bridget.
So, I mean, to be on, I'm very honest. To be honest, I actually don't use the Bedazzle really always in my treatment room. I absolutely also, just for full disclosure, I hate face massage now, so I've pretty much pulled all of that out of my treatment. I use different modalities, but I definitely do my cleanses, my exfoliants, my extractions. I really make sure that all of that is off of the skin before I do any of my other modalities. I do microcurrent or LED or any of those. But you definitely can use either one. You can definitely do the Bedazzle as well. You can use the Incredible Enzymes, do your extractions. Again, just make sure all the product's off. You're fine to do your massage and all of that with either the Incredible Enzymes or the Bedazzle. Yeah.
Okay, great. Carol, question about the Passionfruit Enzyme from SkinScript. Is it okay for sensitive skin?
Depends on the sensitivity, right? So let's say they're just reactive. I consider myself a reactive person, so I might just brighten up, not just because my skin turns red. That's no big deal. If I have rosacea, things like that, I would say no, because you don't want to create any extra warmth in there for them. Mm-hmm. Again, it kind of depends on the sensitivity that they have.
Okay, great. All right, LaShonda, is putting enzymes on top of a retinol too much exfoliation?
Oh, that's a good question. And my answer is no. So it depends. You're going to hear me say this a lot. It depends. It depends on the number of treatments you've done previous, right? I would not throw on the retinol scrub enzymes with peels mixed in and steam on top if I've never seen a client before. I don't care if they want to come in and have their face peeled off. I am not that esthetician that does that anyway. So it needs to be in a progression. But if you do it correctly, right? If you have a client who's struggling, we have a lot of blackheads, things like that, we need to bump them up, then definitely add in that second or third facial, you can add that retinol scrub, and then like the blueberry enzyme on top would be a great option for you. So it's not too much exfoliant. You also need to know what your state says. I mean, I do things that California doesn't appreciate, but I just don't tell anyone I do it. So if you can't double exfoliate, I think in certain states, so just make sure that you can, because that would be considered a double exfoliation.
Okay, good. All right, the raspberry scrub, question from Lakshmi. She says, the raspberry scrub is really hard to remove from a client's skin. Do you have any tips for how to wipe it off?
Yes, I hate scrubs on the face during facials, guys. They do. They do, because you can't get it off and then you're fighting with these little granules the whole time. I totally understand. So I have fixed this problem for myself. What I've done is Sea Botana actually has one of two ways. I either do the scrub and then I apply like an enzyme on top and kind of manipulate on that, leave it on, and then take that all off. Or if I just want to use the scrub, which I actually do often now, Sea Botana has a great oil cleanser. So if you have an oil cleanser, it doesn't have to be Sea Botana's. I like ours. It's an oil, it's a one-step oil cleanse. I add that to the top, manipulate that on. That actually grabs all of that scrubby and it removes it, because I totally agree with you. It's pain in the rear. We also do at Alexander's, we do carry some really great microfiber towels. I am really particular about my towels, which I'm sure all of you are. We have some great ones that actually does remove product. So that will help you as well. But my trick is actually just throwing an oil cleanser on, taking it right off.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right. Let's see. How long do you leave the enzymes on for? From Anna Silva.
Good question. It kind of depends on the enzymes, but you're generally basing between 7 and 10 minutes, depending on your client, depending on if you want steam, if you don't want steam, hot towels, not, that kind of thing. So again, you can add steam to any of them if you want. We generally like to say not to the passion fruit. Side note, I totally do that to my clients. I add steam with passion fruit to those clients who have seen a ton that I really need to it takes a little more to get them to be stimulated. But generally about the 7 to 10 minute time span. If you've never seen a client though, and you feel like something could be a little strong, I'd leave it on like 4 to 5 minutes and just keep checking in. How do you feel? How's your skin? Do you feel like you're on fire still? You know, you ask between 1 to 10, what are you feeling? And then, because it will kind of disintegrate as time goes on, the stingle factor.
Okay, awesome. We're getting a couple questions about ordering of product, and I just want to refer everyone to that handout, because we did include protocol for you to how you would work through these product lines in a good facial protocol. So I want to refer to that. But one question on that, Tiffany, is from Pauline. She says, a quick recap on the retinol scrub with an enzyme layered on top. Would you use it with or without steam?
Depends on the client. You can go either way. Neither is wrong. It's going to depend on what your goal is for that client. Again, if we've got a lot of blackheads, then the retinol scrub with like the blueberry enzyme with steam is going to help soften that. Steam also, by the way, guys, it doesn't have to necessarily be covering the face to where they're suffocating. It can be far away just to make sure there's some moisture getting onto the skin. That honestly is how I tend to use my steam. I don't have it straight on their face so that I'm also being steamed, because I don't personally want to be steamed 5 times a day. So you can have it farther away too if you feel like it might be a little too much.
Okay, great. All right, we have a question from Karen Layton. Can you layer these enzymes?
The enzymes aren't necessary to layer, to be honest. You'd pick one enzyme, and if you wanted to adjust that enzyme, that's where you would add. And when I'm talking about adding things, it's, again, let's be honest, I do add a couple of things with the incredible enzymes. I will layer that a little bit with scrubs and such. But when I'm talking about mixing, blending, I'm really going into Skin Script, because those were made to be blended together with their other products. So you do want to make sure that you are careful You're not going to add a peel into the papaya enzyme from C. botana. That's going to go badly for you. So when we are blending, it is enzymes with scrub and peel, and we are kind of staying within the SkinScript family of that. Enzymes, again, not necessary to layer or do a few different enzymes, again, because you can adjust, pick your favorite enzyme and then add either the retinol scrub or peel to it, or a mechanical something, some other modality exfoliant in there. It's not necessary to mix the enzymes or layer those.
Okay. All right, great. We've got a question from Charlie. Hi, Charlie. The raspberry peach enzyme has a pH of 2.05. Won't sensitive skin clients find that to be too active or spicy on the skin? If so, do we need to cut that with something?
So you can cut all of them, which is a great question. Yes, that is a lower pH, but if we're looking at what the actual active ingredients are, there's not anything super strong. There's only a 3% pumpkin in that, right? So there's not a ton. So it may be slightly active. If it is, you're going to take a cream-based mask, and again, this is where I will kind of vary on what I choose across the skincare line board with all of our lines. If we want to stick with SkinScript, the goji berry is a great one to cut that enzyme, or any of them, just so we know, any of them with, because that yogurt base, it's a nice anti-inflammatory, it's hydrating. So if you do feel, which it absolutely, I agree, the sensitive clients could still definitely feel that raspberry, throw a little bit of equal parts goji berry cream mask and the raspberry enzyme, blend those together and then put them on. Don't use steam or any of that either. Don't do any scrubs, any of that, because if the raspberry is active to them, they are going to be on that sensitive side. But the goji berry is the way to go.
Okay, awesome. All right, here's a question from Susanna. There are so many product lines to choose from. How do we choose the right one, or what differs a product from another?
So my answer to that is always going to be education. To be honest with you, this is where, and Wendy will attest, and so will her mother C, because I fell in love with SkinScript because it works, by the way. I mean, it does. And out of the billion years that I have been doing this, I have kept SkinScript the longest. Then I was introduced to Hale and Hush. Both of those product lines are so heavy education-wide that it is actually really easy to stay excited about the product. The product works, it's consistent. I like SkinScript because there's so much blending. You can be your own chemist. You really have to think about what you're doing, which to me makes my job more fun, because doing it 21 years, it's the same thing, and it makes me want to stab myself in the eye with something sharp. So for me, it's always education-based. C. botana is great. It is that great. They are thankfully getting into webinars and things like that. So they're getting back on track with their education too, which is great. C. botana is an easy line to know. It is easy to use. It is easy to sell. It also does work, right? What I have done to be very transparent here, these are not the only 3 lines that I have in my office. SkinScript, Hale and Hush are my heavier hitters, but I have cherry picked some of different masks, different serums, different things like that I don't necessarily feel fit for all of my clients. SkinScript and Hale and Hush may not fit for everyone, which is also normal. So I have cherry picked based on all of the education that I found from other product lines. So, and it's trial and error, I got to be honest with you, because there's some other great product lines that have great education that I've used, brought them in, and my clients are like, meh, don't like it. I'm like, all right, we'll stick with what we like, right? So, it'll kind of vary too on what your clients will kind of enjoy as well. So it is hard. It is not an easy task. Thankfully now you've got some time to really do some research and play with some stuff, but I got to be honest, it is not always easy, I think. So I go with the education. That is my first and foremost. If I can get a lot of education, then I feel like I'm a better esthetician, right? Because I can really I know more about the product. It makes it easier for me to sell. It makes it easier for me to use in room and get better results. So that's kind of how I've geared it, which is why Alexander's carries the things I like, because I'm like, I want all the good stuff, guys.
And Tiffany does test everything that we bring in. You know, there isn't anything that we haven't brought in that she hasn't tested in her salon. So
right, myself, my clients, and they know if I don't like things, just so you know. I'm not shy.
We know. Which that's a good question. So we get that question for waxing a lot too, because there's so many choices out there. Just a quick little segue. We have all, because we are asking about webinars being recorded if people want to review this again. So 2 ways you're going to receive this. You'll get an email within 24 hours saying thank you for attending, and here's a link to the recorded webinar. But we also have on our website, we have all of our previous webinars that are recorded linked on our website under classes. Before the whole COVID-19 outbreak, we did do one on how to choose the best wax for you, because we get that question all the time, just like this past question for skincare, and there's one out there for that as well. So go ahead and take a look at all those previous recorded webinars as well. They're all so that answers the questions on the replay. What is the best mask exfoliant for milia?
Okay, milia. Let's recap that real quick, right? What is milia? Milia is based on the fact that the skin is extremely dehydrated. So any mask that is heavy in hyaluronic acid, that is the one that you want to use, okay? So if I have a client who is heavy milia, I am a coconut enzyme girl. You can lactic peel them if you want also. And then everything that's going to be hydrating. The goji berry is a great one to go. The ginkgo mask of Sea Botana is a great way to go. Hale and Hush does have the Hush Hydrate, which is it's a moisturizer and a mask. So you can blend some of those in. You can do your massage with the Hush Hydrate, that mask moisturizer, and then do the goji berry on top. And then you really want to make sure that they're using a hyaluronic acid serum at home. That's going to help that milia go away if you cannot use lancets in your room to get them out.
Okay. Here's a question from Lynette. Hi, Lynette. So a lot of estheticians.
No, you froze, Wendy.
What are some take-home kit ideas? The bamboo mask sounds good. Any other thoughts you might have?
Yeah, any of the scrubs, guys. So any of the raspberry scrub. So again, what you can do, this is what I did for one of my clients. She was like, what am I gonna do? I can't do. So I dropped off, and we do also, by the way, everyone, we do sell little containers, different size containers, things like that, so that you can make your own kits. So what I did was I actually mixed that oil. The client that I'm talking about is a hypersensitive client. So I mixed the raspberry scrub in with the one-step cleansing oil to give her more of a cleansing scrub for her exfoliant, because I do not want her trying to do any enzymatic items at home. So I've mixed those two together. And then I created my own little serum. I kind of blend all my serums together, to be honest. I blended a little vitamin C, a lot of the ageless serum that's a hyaluronic base. I blended, kind of mixed those up in there so that she can layer that on. And then I gave her a nice anti-inflammatory mask for after. So you really only need to do, I made the scrub fancier by adding the oil cleanser, because I know she doesn't have the oil cleanser. So I figured that'd be a fun, like, oh, this is neat. And it would be something that I would do on her in my room. So to be honest, sometimes if you just mix some scrubs and cleansers together, they feel like they're getting something fancier.
Right. Okay, thanks, Tiff. All right, couple questions about enzymes that after you open them. So first question is about the lemon zest, if it's okay to put it in the fridge and freezer, and also how should you keep storage of the enzymes after you open? So I think those can kind of go together.
So all of your enzymes are fine. It doesn't matter which brand we're talking about. They'll all be fine for, I mean, to be honest, some of them, it takes me a while to go through because a little bit goes a long way and I'm by myself. So I just keep them in my cabinet. The lemon, although sometimes in the summer I will put some of them in just the fridge. And to be honest, my room is generally 30 degrees in the winter, so they freeze on their own. But you can keep them just in a cabinet. You just don't want it to be under the sink where it's moist, things like that. Just cool, dry spot will be totally fine. They're fine in a cabinet in your room for at least a year, if not longer. Because again, to be honest, I do some of mine I have used longer than a year because I don't go through them that fast. So, so yeah, they're all except for the lemon zest. That's the only one. So what I do when I do buy the lemon zest, I write the date that I bought it because I forget. I write the date that I bought it, so that way I'm just kind of cognizant of when I need to start throwing it in the freezer because it's fine on its own until you hit that mark, because you will see that particular one will change color, things like that. Not a huge deal, but that's when you would generally want to pop it in the fridge or I would put it in the freezer if you want it to last longer than 3 months. But the rest of them are totally fine just in your cool, dry cabinet spot that you normally keep all your products in.
Okay, next question from Tiana. Is the Dr. Schwab pumpkin mask available to retail?
No, it is a professional item. Even though it is not technically super strong, we like to say, but you still want to be careful because even if you think it's not, I mean, again, it may not be as active as we might want it to be, but you still don't want your clients trying to fuss with enzymes and such at home. They're going to use it wrong. They will use it with the wrong thing. That's where that gets a little iffy, right? Because think about your clients that overusing vitamin A. They come in, you do that pumpkin enzyme, you're going to kind of burn their face, right? So you still don't want to retail that one. You want to stick to your scrubs and things like that we have a little more control over, where they really can't harm their own face.
Okay. Yeah.
Good question though.
Yeah, we're actually getting that a lot right now because people are doing home kits for clients.
You don't want to retail those. You do not want to send your client home with those. They don't know what they're doing. Again, they will be like, oh, she gave it to me, so it can't be that strong or that aggressive. So let me put everything on all together and consistently, right? And they'll do it every day. And then they'll wonder why they don't have a face left, so.
All right, what enzyme from Megan? What enzyme, SkinScript enzyme, is safe to add to the lactic lightning peel, which we're going to be going Thursday?
Yeah, we're going to go through that all on Thursday, but you can add that to any of them.
Okay, awesome. All right, so this is from LaShonda. With so many different product lines, how do you give a home care regimen to your clients? Does it get confusing to them?
Yes, all of the above. I totally agree. There are so many products. How do you choose? You need to listen to the tells. So when you're doing that consultation with your client, which I know you guys are all doing, and you're doing it so well, in that consultation, you really want to hear their keywords. Aging is their biggest problem. Pigmentation is their biggest problem. So you want to focus on that first, that one product that you know that they'll use. I have clients who I love. They come in often. They will complain about their skin. They want to use one product at home. One. So you got to pick which one is going to give them the most and the best results. Okay. Then what I do is I give out samples. I'm a sampler because I like to see, because again, not everyone is the same. So I like to give little samples of the things that I would like them to use. So that one client that only wants to use one product, I gave her one other sample. I gave her the product I wanted her to use, and then I gave her a sample of something else I wanted her to use, just to see if she would even try it, right? So you want to break it down. What's the most important thing to them? What are they going to see the best results with? Start with that product and go from there. Okay. That's how I do it.
Thank you. Let's see, from Kathy Carter's, are there any SkinScript enzymes that are not suitable for higher Fitzpatrick's clients?
Yeah, That's a really good question. And the passion fruit is the one that I am going to say is not suitable. I want to say that might be that, and the lemon zest may not be totally suitable for the higher Fitzpatrick. Let me. I need to go back into my into all of my notes. I want to say they're all pretty okay for your higher Fitzpatrick, except for one of the peels, the cranberry, the salicylic peel isn't necessarily all that great. But I'm pretty sure all of the enzymes really aren't too bad. The passion fruit, the only reason why I say that is because we're creating that dermal warmth, which we don't want to stimulate any of the melanocytes, right? Which it could do. So that one I tend to stay away from on the higher fits. But I think that might be it. It's a good question. And I can answer that for you, because I will ask Dave and Lisa and double check with them. I know I have it written in my notes somewhere, but I have so many notes all over that I'm not going to be able to find it at this exact moment.
Yeah, we can email everyone the end.
Yeah.
Good question. All right, from another one from LaShonda. I work with a lot of pregnant clients. Do you have, can you recommend the enzymes and scrubs besides the raspberry refining scrub that she could use?
Incredible Enzymes is great. The bamboo cream peel, the Ginkgo Gommage, the raspberry, the coconut. I already said those. I might have already said those. The Ciabatana pumpkin is okay, and the papaya. The papaya I might only use with water instead of the controlling lotion with it. But those are all, anything that doesn't really have an acid in it is going to be okay for your pregnant clients. You're definitely going to have some clients that don't care. I mean, my sister was pregnant. She was like, I don't really care if my kids have 4 legs and a horn. I want all of the acids on my face. So I was like, all right, well, if you're cool with it, then, and they're fine. By the way, my niece and nephew are beautiful, normal children. But it's going to depend on the client. But I generally will err on the side of caution and not have any kind of acid in there. So the rest of the enzymes should be, are good.
Great. Just a few more, Tiff. Could the retinol 2% exfoliating scrub be too strong as a mask? If so, why?
I mean, it might for some clients, but it also will depend more on dehydration. It would depend more on what their skin is doing in general. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. That's kind of one of those, you need to kind of play around with it and see for that particular client. If they're a sensitive client, yeah, you're not going to want to use that as a mask. Mm-hmm. If you've done a peel, if they've done some aggressive exfoliation, you don't want to use that as a mask. You really want to keep that more in I like to keep it more on the exfoliation side, but because it's a great retail item, they can put it on. What I tell my clients to do, if they want to use it more as a mask, put it on in the morning when you get up, brush your teeth, make your bed, then get in the shower, rinse it off, right? That'll take a couple of minutes. That can act like a mask in that sense, but it's not going to be overdoing it, right?
Okay, great. Christina Leanhart has the Skin Script book in front of her, so she's looked it up and she said it is the Passionfruit enzyme. That is.
Oh, thanks, friends. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Me too, right? It's my Bible.
Right. Okay. All right. So we have a customer here who had a customer who was burned from a chemical peel from a different esthetician. Would you recommend the glycolic pads or the retinol scrub for someone who has been burned?
I mean, if they need it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what's the end goal for their skin? Do they need the retinol scrub, do they need brightening and exfoliating? The glycolic retinol pads are my favorite things ever. I use those on my entire body because I love them for ingrowns. I love them for pigmentation under my arms, bikini area. I use it everywhere. But if they are not in the market and need something for pigmentation, no. It also depends on when they were burned. It depends on what, if they've been scarred, things like that. Like we're trying to lighten the scars that were caused by that chemical peel, then the glycolic retinol pads are a great way to go. But again, it's gonna depend on how long ago that actually happened, because we want to make sure that the skin is intact, it's healed, and the only challenge that would be left is that pigmentation. Yeah, again, it would be okay, but we're, without knowing all of the information about the client, it may vary in the very beginning there. If what I would say, let's say that happened not too long ago and we're still in that healing stage, go with Hail and Hush. I would Hail and Hush the bejesus out of that human and make sure that that's the vitamin C that they're using, the hyaluronic acid serum, the Hush Hydrate, all of that. We want anti-inflammatory. We want to flood the skin with anti-inflammatory first, then we can go back and start adding in some of the stuff to help with the pigmentation. Hopefully that answered you.
Lynette would like to know, what are your staples?
Kind of the ones that you saw. I am missing the passion fruit one because I was going to get that. I had just run out right before we got on lockdown. I always have the pomegranate, the passion fruit, the coconut, the blueberry, and the cherry. Those are the ones that I always have. I go through the coconut the fastest because I do tend to like to blend more acids into that one. And my clients are aging, autoimmune disorder sensitive clients, so I have a little more control with the coconut on that. That's why I like that one. But yeah, the ones that I showed you, the pomegranate, the blueberry, the cherry, the coconut, I always have those. And the retinol scrub.
All right, back to the passion fruit and the higher Fitzpatrick. We got a question from Kathy, kind of a follow-on question from that. What would you recommend them for a higher Fitzpatrick client that is in need of firming if the passion fruit isn't okay?
I mean, that's honestly where I would go with other modalities instead. I wouldn't necessarily worry about the enzyme doing that tightening for me. I would keep my enzyme just as, or scrub, whatever. I would keep your exfoliation as just the exfoliation. I would throw in microcurrent for them. We also have a really great, the Colorado location doesn't carry it, but if you are over in that hood, you can get this mask from us in California. The N-Spree mask, that one I love a lot. I actually used that on my own face this morning. It is a collagen-based mask and it tightens on the skin. So when I put it on and I lift like my extra chin piece here that I love so much that I play with a lot. I like to take that and I start under here and I lift up with that. That's going to help tighten the skin because the mask itself doesn't get tight. It doesn't get aggressively tight where you're uncomfortable. That also, by the way, is a retail. We do have that as a retail item for your clients too. So if they need an anti-aging home mask, this one's great. But I would go more with my serums, with my collagen serums, things like that for my higher fits that needs the anti-aging and the tightening. I wouldn't necessarily add that. I wouldn't make the exfoliation portion of the service as the tightening portion.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Last question. Are all the brands that we talked about today all natural, free of mineral oils, parabens, sulfates, dyes, fragrances, etc.?
Yes and no. So we do Hail and Hush, again, that is definitely going to be the fragrance free, all of those things. The Incredible Enzymes is the only one that has fragrance in it. It's a natural fragrance. Skin Script does have fragrance, but again, they are on the natural side. I want to say Skin Script and Hail and Hush are paraben free and all of that goodness. C. botana, to be honest, I would have to look a little bit more into a lot of those products. You also need to keep in mind too, when we talk about things like that, we don't necessarily want, to be in a tub of parabens for the most part, but certain ingredients need to be in certain products in order for them to work, to stay stable, all of that. So as long, again, as we're not ingesting and drinking it by gallons, we're not actually doing a ton of harm to the skin. I do want to say though, the C. botana is probably pretty paraben free as well. It is more of a botanical baseline, so their fragrances, things like that, are also more on that natural side. There's not a ton of extra stuff in any of them. So again, even I have a lot of clients who have cancer, who are autoimmune disorders, and I don't have challenges with any of these lines with any of those clients. So we are definitely both SkinScript and Hale and Hush are chirally correct. So the ingredients and the ingredients that they're using are what your body already can recognize, right? So we are working on that more natural side.
Okay, great. All right. Well, we have a couple questions on your opinion on a couple different product lines that we don't carry. So I'll see if you know if you know anything about the Dermodality pumpkin peel.
I've not heard of that one.
Okay. All right. And
okay.
then also where's the other one? Oh, Chelsea, that was asking about the natural products, says that she's also using 2L, which I believe is Lori's line, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how these compare.
I don't know enough about 2L to know. As far as I understand, there is not a problem with the blending of, I wouldn't necessarily, I may mix and match in my services as far as, I might use the Hale and Hush cleanser, the SkinScript toner, Hale and Hush enzyme, SkinScript enzyme, but I wouldn't necessarily mix like the SkinScript peel in with the Hale and Hush enzyme, right? So I wouldn't actually blend those two that way. But I would mix and match different serums in, right? Because there's a serum that I like. It's called XO8. That one is peptides, right? So that you're not blending in with a different product line. You can layer those. That's fine. But I don't think we've heard of a challenge using 2L and any of these together in the same treatment.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. Anna is asking, can the SkinScript enzyme burn the skin, cause a burn to the skin?
Some of them might. It depends on if you're using the incorrect enzyme with the wrong skin type, right? So you're not necessarily going to burn the skin if you leave it on too long. If you have really hot steam on a sensitive client, then yeah, you could. But like any of the other enzymes, if used incorrectly on the wrong skin type at the wrong time, you can do some damage. So you definitely want to be aware of the chemicals that are in there. So if someone's allergic to aspirin, you don't want to use anything with salicylic, right? So make sure that you don't use the blueberry enzyme on your client because that has salicylic in it. So you can definitely do some damage if you are not paying attention. Again, I have had someone, I have a horrible story of someone burning someone with the pumpkin enzyme. Because again, she didn't do a consultation. Her client went out, laid in the sun, got a massage, went in the sauna, worked out, did all of the things. Within like the hour, she left the office and she had a burn. So yes, but that's also where you need to make sure you're educating your client. And again, before you start boosting things, adding stuff, making things stronger, make sure you work with your client a couple of times before we get really excited about taking their face off.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiff.
Oh, there you go.
All with the questions. So you might want to maybe go to the next slide so people can see tomorrow's
Thursdays.
Thursday. But real quick, Maggie, who's our wonderful Maggie from our California office, who's at home now, is piping in on the questions. She wants to make sure everyone knows that CA Botanis products are considered certified organic, which means that 80% of the ingredients have to be organic.
Oh,
So
thanks, Mag. See?
Yep. Hype
this
that.
is why we're a
Thanks,
team,
Max.
guys.
Okay, so that's all for questions, Tiff.
Awesome. So Thursday, we are doing the second portion of this webinar. We are going to go through peels. We are going to talk about the differences between peels. We are going to talk about how to mix them in with all these enzymes and or not with what we talked about today. It is going to, by the way, be a little more transcript heavy on that because these are the peels that we have. CA Botana does have a great peel as well, but that's where we're heading for that. There's the protocols that you have on this one. They are the same, but you will see where that boost can go in to those basic protocols. If you need help with more protocols, all that, we are here to help you with those. We also have, so don't forget to download those handouts. We already did the questions. This is who we are. Yeah.
The slides are looking, they're like, we're not seeing the whole slide. I don't know what's happening there.
Oh, hold on. Oh.
No problem.
Huh. Oh, oops, sorry.
There we are.
Oh,
there we are. Maybe go back to the chemical peels one because that was so people can see.
There you go. Okay.
Perfect.
So yeah, same bad time, same bad place. I will be in my kitchen again, unless I feel really excited and I can feel like I can be out in the open, although my animals distract me. So part 2 is Thursday. We have an acne one coming up with my counterpart, Brittany, who is in Colorado. We're super excited about that one. So we are going to try to get as many webinars to you to help you throughout the time. So if there's stuff that you would like to see, please shoot that off to us. We're trying to do the best we can with the topics. And yeah, thanks for coming. So excited I got to share my morning with you guys. All right, my friends, enjoy the rest of your day. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out. I legitimately don't have much else going on, so I would love to help you. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.